So, it's been a very interesting and long day today. So, uh, yeah. Truly been wild. I woke up this morning from boondocking to two dudes parked next to me, like right next to me, and were smoking a lot of weed. I do not like weed, and it's illegal here. You can't just do that. As a matter of fact, I got a friend of mine that was from Chicago, and he was boondocking down here for about a year, and he came back real quick to get some stuff out of his storage, and he had gone out to Crestview. Hey, what's up? It's messy today. It's kind of a weird circusy roller coaster day. So, anyway, he had come down to pick up some of his stuff in storage, mainly his Harley, and paid his storage up and everything, and he was supposed to come back in 30 days because he called me while he was here and said, hey, I need you to come get me. And I'm like, well, I mean, where's your new truck you just bought? And he's like, well, my buddy's got it, because I got stopped, and I'm in Crestview. I said, well, why are you in Crestview? And he said, well, I just got out of jail. I'm like, oh, God. I try not to associate with people like that as much as possible, because I don't want to look like a hot lead or something. Thank you for the thumbs up. So, anyway, he's like, come get me. And I said, man, I hardly have any gas. I'm not driving all the way out to Crestview, and that's a long drive. And he says, look, if I can find somebody to give you the money, and I said, well, I don't know, if you can have them bring me the money. It was just an acquaintance, somebody I know, just people, I'm nice to everybody. And so anyway, actually I can go right down here. I think I'll go this way. I hope there's not a cop behind me. They're gonna think I'm drunk. But anyway, and I don't drink. But anyway, so he calls me back or texts me and says, hey, my buddy is gonna give you, the money for the gas, and he will, if you go pick him up at such and such and give him a ride, and then all this other stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And I said, you're gonna have to figure out something else. Now, when he came down, he told me, he'd only been down a couple days, he told me that he actually was getting all his old stimulus checks that they were issuing them, and that he also was getting his tax refund, and claimed he had most of it, and that's what he bought that truck with to drive down. He claimed he bought the truck in a bar from some guy, and it was a raggedy truck, but it was kind of a neat truck. It just somebody didn't take good care of it. It was kind of rusty from the roads in Chicago. They salt the roads. But I mean, it was a blessing. He sure was down and out for like 6 months, and so it was really a blessing for him to be able to get a truck again and work and all that stuff. So anyway, I think he got kind of mad with me because I didn't come get him. And I mean, I can only do what I can do. I've got to watch out for me. And at that point, I had just very little gas, and I didn't want to take my car any more than I had to, because I might have an emergency. I need my gas. And I mean, I have very, very little gas that day. So you can't listen to everything everybody tells you, because things don't always work out well. As a matter of fact, I did this guy a favor when I just barely knew him, and he was trying to make it. He was going through a divorce, and he lost everything he had, was boondocking out of a storage unit, and he was working every day doing roofing for a guy, and was concerned about getting locked out of the unit one night. And I told him to talk to his boss, and so he talked to his boss. He sent me a message. Yeah, he said he'll, front me the money out of my pay. And I said, great. And I said, if you want, I'll just come up and get it. If you can get it, like at lunchtime. And, I'll go pay your storage with it and then, give you a receipt. And so I went and paid his storage before I went up there. And I talked to the storage company. I said, look, if he doesn't pay me, I'm putting my own lock on the unit. They said, that's fine. And it was like $120 or something. It was in a little, like 10 by 10 or something. And then it was cheaper, so. Yeah. I try to be kind and help people, that I think are sincere when I can. Even though that's a big risk to be chumping out that kind of money. But, I was doing okay. I was, working DoorDash, doing all kinds of things all at once. And I was doing okay. And, with the pandemic. And, lots of people have helped me in my lifetime. I try to be kind. And so, anyway, he seemed like a nice guy. Hey, buddy, what's up? So, anyway, he had told me, look, I'll give you the gas money and everything. And I had to drive way out to the bar to go get that money. He jumped off the roof while I was there. I brought him a soda. It was like 100 degrees that day. And, I knew he didn't have any money at all. So I had brought him a soda, and he was really grateful, and he handed me the money. And I said, great, here's your receipt. So I handed him his receipt. So he got in that evening. I missed him. I saw him the next day. I usually saw him every day. And I used to feed a lot of the homeless people around the storage complex that I have my storages in because, I was trying to be kind because they were in bad shape. And to go hungry is really rough. I've done it. I had done it for weeks on end when I was going through my really crappy divorce back in the early 2000s. But anyway, so, I know what it's like. So anyway, he never did pay me gas or anything, but we stayed friends. And when he came down, actually, oh, really? Yeah, that Rock Hudson thing was so sad. I actually, he was affiliated with Liberace too, and Liberace would never admit anything, and he refused treatment. And Rock Hudson is the one that opened the doors on this whole thing back in the, I guess it was the early 80s, like 84, 86, something like that. But he opened the door on that deal and started telling people the truth. And I think all of us thought he was just dying of cancer or something. I can't remember how that went. It was so long ago. But anyway, so when he had come down that last trip, that he went to jail for 1 or 2 days, whatever, in Crestview. He had a huge amount of money in his account and was waiting on the other money to come that was on his stimulus checks or something. And, which I didn't think he was ever going to get because he had back child support. And I said, they may tag you on some of that. He said, oh no, I'll get it. So I guess he was actually going to get it. So I was surprised because my storages were behind, and I had told him that, and I thought, maybe he'll offer to help me on my storages. Plus, I had a few things for sale. I had a guitar for sale that I got in an auction storage, and he really wanted it. And he said he was going to get it before he left and all that, to give to his daughter back in Chicago when he went back home. And, he was doing good. He was working, got a place to live. He was staying with a buddy that had a house, all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, he didn't buy nothing. And he took off, and I talked to him a couple times by text, but he had told me what had happened. He and his buddy were out in Crestview at a car lot. Actually, he said we were out in Crestview in a parking lot smoking, a joint. And I said, well, I told you about that because they lit one up at the storage complex, which you really don't want to be doing any drugs at a storage complex. It's super illegal. Drugs and guns are majorly illegal in a storage complex. So anyway, I had told him, hey man, you better watch it smoking that weed because everybody is smelling this complex. And the police come through all the time, and he's like, oh, I got a permit for it. I said, huh? He goes, yeah, I got a doctor's permit for it. I said, probably from Chicago. He goes, yeah. And I said, well, guess what? It's not valid here. This is Florida. Nah. And he opened a glove box, and he had a bag of weed. And he's like, it's legal for me to carry it. I said, yeah, but you can't smoke it around other people. I mean, when you signed that paper, it tells you all the regulations, and I don't think it works over state line. And he kind of laughed. So anyway, I can't be around it. I'm really allergic to it, and I can't stand weed anyway. I mean, no offense to those that like it. I mean, it's your thing. But anyway, so he, I guess him and his buddy, he told me him and his buddy were out in Crestview smoking a joint in the parking lot and got slammed. And then the story goes, I'm like, you were just like out at the Walmart parking lot, because there's not a lot in Crestview. It's kind of a little podunky kind of town. They have Kentucky Fried Chicken there, and man, it's the worst. And McDonald's there is garbage. That's super problematic. They got a pretty good Walmart out there, though. They got a Cracker Barrel and a really nice Tom Thumb and the expressway. It's kind of like just a stopping point there, There's also a rest stop not far from there. Anyway, so come to know, the story is that he was in a parking lot of a car lot, and I'm not sure if he was out there trying to trade off buy or whatever he was trying to do to get parts. I don't know. And because he had some guy with him that was his roommate in Chicago that came down with him. They were going to work a couple days in Florida while they came down and then go back, because as soon as he came to town, everybody wanted him, come swing a hammer. And the weather was so much better, over here than there. They thought they might make, a week of work and then go back. So anyway, he went to jail, and then they bonded him or something like that. And he was supposed to come back in 30 days. And at first they weren't going to give him a bond, and then the judge let him have it or something, he said. But now this guy has a legal background that's real serious from when he was a kid. He beat the crap out of some old landlord because a girl screamed rape that never happened. And he went after the landlord immediately, and it was actually a bullcrap lie. And he ended up doing time for it. The landlord did get slammed later because the landlord sexually harassed another tenant, and that was the end of that. But he dropped the guy because he believed the girl. If you let you're not supposed to do it. Right. And so, how people do, they just laugh. They're like, haha. And you're trying to be nice and go, I don't think you should be doing that out here in public. But anyway, so, but anybody that has that permit just thinks they have balls galore. I mean, my daughter and I, we rented a place out by Eglin, and this girl used to sit on the porch smoking weed all the time. She had a brand new baby that wasn't very old. And, we had to sit in the car and wait until she finished smoking her doobie on the porch. Because it would be like as soon as one of us opened the door, we'd smell that weed terrible when we parked, because we parked right in front of the townhouse. And all the townhouses are right next to each other. And she was right next door, and she's a young girl. And me or my daughter would shut the door and go, oh my God, they're smoking weed. So we had to sit in the car and wait, because we didn't want to be breathing it, because both our jobs were very problematic. If we got busted for weed on a drug test or something, it would be really bad. And especially her as a minor. So, because my daughter was a minor at that time. So anyway, and this is just a couple of years ago. One of the days the girl said, why don't you get out of your car when you pull up? I said, well, because we have to wait for you to quit smoking weed. so we can get out. I said, my daughter's a minor. I said, we both have jobs. That's all. And she said, well, I mean, it's legal. I said, no, it is not. It is not legal to do drugs in public around other people's children and other people. And she whips out this card and slaps it in my face and goes, yeah, it is. I got a card. And I said, I don't care what you got. I said, when you signed that contract with that doctor to get that permit that you have to be maintained by weed or something, it tells you where you can smoke it and where you can't in order to keep that permit. And it does not tell you you can smoke it, in a public place, in a complex of units that are connected and around people's minor children. So you better read it again. She's like, oh, they always get ballsy, and they think they got that permit, but they didn't read the paper. They just signed it, said, so that they could get some free weed or whatever, or go to the weed store. I don't know. But anyway, so he laughed, that day when I told him at the storage complex, I got a permit. Look, flipped the box open, there was weed in there. I'm like, oh my God. I said, I don't know. I hope you got a permit to carry that. But I still think that having that permit from Chicago and not Florida may create a problem. And I was right. So anyway, so he got some kind of bond. He wasn't supposed to get one. And then he went to court. He was in jail like 2 or 3 days. And then they issued a bond on him or something, or bail, whatever we call it. And then he was supposed to come to court in 30 days. And so he was going to go back to Chicago, take his Harley back and all this stuff, and he was going to be back in 30 days to do that court, he told me. I talked to him a couple times on the phone and text after he had left, and he was a little bit dry, and I think it's because, he was mad that I didn't go get him. Well, I can only do what I can do. And I'm not driving all over the universe to go pick up your friends and take them places, and so that they can give me $25 or something to drive out, and I still gotta have money to come back. It has to be 100% guaranteed. I'm not riding a bunch of strangers in my car, especially during the pandemic. No and hell no. So, it's not worth dying over. But, anyway, so, I don't think he's ever come back. And it's really unfortunate because his unit was auctioned off this morning. I wished I could have bought it. He had a TV that I sold him in there for like $100 a while back, like a year ago. And that TV is a real good TV. And then I sold him a whole bunch of tools. Now, I don't know if he took all the tools with him or not. Plus, he had a little mini refrigerator, which I have a friend that's always needed one and told me when I do the storage auctions, if you ever get one of those little refrigerators. And they were in town this week, and I wished I could have done that whole deal, but I didn't. And then I was listing stuff on my Etsy, some handmade jewelry that I had made yesterday. And all of a sudden my Etsy is suspended, and I don't know why. So now all my hats disappeared. I don't know what happened. So then, I'm emailing Etsy and all that. They responded actually in about an hour, which was really cool. And so I was pretty excited about that. And then they responded again and wanted all my pertinent information. Which I thought, well, that's kind of weird. I mean, if I'm emailing them, they should know. And they said they were sorry, and I said, well, please explain to me. Now, I have an order that I've had to refund twice. I did it again today, just to see if that was the problem, because it keeps staying in there and telling me to ship out when the customer wanted a refund. And it was a large product that the shipping turned out to be really insanely high, like from $179 to $400 with 3 different shipping companies to California. And it's to like middle California, and so California is about the most expensive to ship to other than Europe. And I don't do Europe. I grew out of that years ago. So now the signal might fade for about 2 seconds here because I'm going through a really bad signal area right now, and it'll drop for a second. But anyway, so that was like 30 days ago, but that thing still keeps staying on there, and I'm like, what the heck? So I thought, well, maybe it didn't refund it, you know. Tried to go in my bank account, and that was weird too. I had somebody that used to live with me that was stealing money out of my account constantly, and then I was also getting billed for all their free apps that they were signing up on their phone out of my account. I mean, like 20 of them, you know, be billing me $8, $10, and $15, and it's not even my stuff. You know, when people sign up for that free 30 days and then they bill you out, yeah, so my account has been like ransacked so badly for a few years now, and yeah, and that's real fun because, you know, I have to watch my pennies. So anyway, I had deposited $100 in that account in the last couple of weeks, and I get on there and it says 45-cent balance, and I'm like, what the hell? Because I figure I'll go to the store and get, you know, move money over to that account, and then run that refund again, just for help, because, you know, now I can't access the account. And it was supposed to send me an email to access the account, and it didn't come. So I think that person has switched everything, and I'm really in bad shape now. And so, because when I figured out what was going on, I was switching a lot of accounts, and like one of them I could never switch. So anyway, it was a very hectic day. I went and moved that money, went and did the refund again, and it still sits on my account, that order saying it needs to be shipped out. I'm like, so now I email again to Etsy to please remove that guy's order off of there. It was at the customer request for the refund 30 days ago. I've refunded 2 times. That's like almost $300 total. And, you know, to please refund me for the first refund or whatever it takes. You know, if they had charged me twice. Plus the tax. See, Etsy takes out tax on anything somebody buys from you. They don't pay it to you. Which doesn't make any sense either, because you're supposed to pay tax quarterly at the end of the year when you sell stuff. Oh, that T-Mobile. I've got to read all those letters to you. They shut my T-Mobile internet off like 3 times for no reason. No. Goddamn drunks. Dude just drove clear across the intersection vertically in front of me. Mother of God, on a red light coming out of Whataburger into Harbor Walk Village. Insane. The tourists are starting to come in and they're really crappy. It's getting sickening this week. But anyway, how about I get hit with a ton of drunks tonight? It's not, let's see, it's not Friday, it's Thursday, so it might not be too terrible bad. But anyway, so I sent, you know, that deal with the tax is weird, because Etsy takes out tax from the customer when they purchase from you and say they remitted it in your behalf or something. And normally on these sites you just pay your taxes quarterly or yearly on your sales to the government. You do your taxes on your income. You know, if you make a certain amount of money, you know, a year, then you've got to pay, you know. I think it's like $10K a year. If you make, you know, less than $10K a year, you don't have to pay. It also depends on the state you're in too. Because it's like Florida doesn't have personal taxes or property taxes or something. I don't know what it is. So anyway, you know, I got a couple responses from Etsy, but I haven't had anything else. Now, they also didn't send me an email saying they suspended my account. Usually they'll do that on these type of sites. They'll send you an email and say you were suspended because da-da. And I have a feeling it's from that order that just hangs there. Because it's still there. And it's telling me to ship, and it also says it was totally refunded. So I don't know what's happening. Either that or they whacked the damn Etsy site. So I'm not the only one. I looked it up on the forums, and there's a bunch of other people going through the same thing with hanging orders and also being deactivated, and they don't know why. And so, my eBay's still rolling for now. I've got no sales on it yet, because I need to list some stuff in other categories that are really selling well on there right now. And I have this stuff, I just have to list it, but I just didn't want to list anything with really expensive shipping because I have to wait to get paid on every single order for the first 30 days. What they do is you have to, give up the item, pay to ship it, and then wait till the tracking number clears. And then about 2 days after the tracking number is cleared and shown delivery, then they'll deposit it in your account. And they'll do that for about 30 days. And they used to do that before, but I think it was only for like the first 12 orders or something like that. Or for 2 weeks or something. I don't know. I don't remember how it went. Way back. It's been years since I've been on eBay. But, and again, we don't know how eBay's going to go because it may go bad here shortly. I don't know. I've been thrown out of there so many times. Just like Amazon. But anyway, Etsy's it's such a dragging site. God, the sales are so slow on there. I mean, there's worse sites like Bonanza. Bonanza was one of the worst, and it had really good reviews, but it doesn't sell. But again, that site is like eBay, where the people that really sell on there are people that sell like stamps and coins. And I don't know a whole lot about stamps and coins to really get good about selling stuff like that. I collected a lot of stamps in my lifetime. I was really into it and stuff. But I tried to sell them one time, one at a time, or a whole album, and they were like, laughed at me. It's like, well, we don't buy them, but you'd have to find a buyer. And I'm like, but you're a stamp store. So anyway, yeah. But anyway, so it's been a weird day. I haven't done any storage auctions in like 3 months because I've been kind of scared to spend the money, but that's a huge amount of income for me, and real fast income because I run that stuff out super fast. I have a couple items still listed on the internet for people to pick up, and people are sending me messages at midnight and 2 and 4 in the morning too, which is aggravating as hell. And then all my storages and my office are due all over again. I just got done paying them, and it's all here again. But if I can get that eBay flying, it'd be good. But the next problem is the deposits that come in from the Etsy are straightening out my darn bank account. The deposit in, I have 2 different accounts for my Etsy. I have my deposit and my other account for refund and paying. And I see the messages, but I can't read them while I'm driving. But I'll look at them in a minute. But anyway, so I've got to get my account balance back because I got an overdraft on it from paying my office real late with all the late fees and junk. And so that's hanging up my eBay right now because they passed my account and they didn't pass it. They did like a 3-cent deposit, 7-cent deposit cleared. And then when I overdraft my office, then they turned around and sent me an email that said, okay, now we're going to withdraw 2 cents and, no, we're going to make 3 withdrawals on your account. One for 2 cents, 3 cents, and 5 cents. And I'm like, oh my God. See, I'd already overdraft my office. And so I'm like, oh. Well, guess what? My bank didn't honor it. So then eBay backed out and said I need to put a new form of payment in. Ugh. But my account's still open. I just have to enter a new form of payment. But, I either have to open another account or I have to deposit in that account so that it's square. And it's like, I owe like $750 or something. I don't know. So anyway, which is really sad because now my Etsy stopped, so all my payments for deposits can't go in, so that account will come back up because I use a special account for my commercial stuff. I try to keep everything separate. My personal, my commercial, all that. So, yeah. It's so much easier to keep track of if you do all your shipping and all your commercial stuff out of one account. And then, you know, keep your personal account separate so that you can define it all. Especially if you ever get audited by the IRS. This really helps to have everything kind of all separate. Plus, you can see your total income and spending in, you know, one account for all your commercial stuff. Real easily. It's real good to keep it separate. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta run in the store real quick. And then I will be back up here with you guys for a minute, okay?